Okay, so we're going to open the Contract Administration Board for October 17th, 2022. And in attendance, we have the Honorable Andrew Joyce, Chairman of the Albany County Legislature, Bruce Higley, Albany County Clerk, and Daniel Lynch, Deputy County Executive. So the first item on the agenda is we need to approve the August 15th, 2022 meeting minutes. I'd like to entertain a motion that we do that at this point, and I will second it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried.
I just put on my record, for the record, I'll abstain as I wasn't in attendance at that.
Correct. Sorry, I should have said that. So next, we need to approve the September 12th, 2022 meeting minutes, of which I will be abstaining because obviously I was not here. So I'll entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
And I'm going to abstain. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Me, and it's so carried. Okay, so now on to the agenda for October 17th, 2022. But before I do that, have we gone through all the meeting minutes that need to be approved?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So let's start the agenda with contract number 2022-572. The department is Emergency 911. The vendor is Pulsium High-Tech Systems. The department is, oh, I already said that, I'm sorry. The estimated term is 4/1/2022 through 3/31/2023. The estimated amount is $21,394.35. This is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions from the department head.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Demers with Albany County Sheriff's Department. I'm the Director of 911 for Albany County. The Pulsium is the old computer-aided dispatch system that we maintain several licenses for to access our old archive data. It's the CAD system currently used also live by the Albany Police Department, so we use it for helping them out and our old records as well.
Any other comments or questions for the department head? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Your motion's carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 544-22. The department is a correctional facility. The vendor is Composite Technology and Infrastructure, LLC. The estimated amount is $56,170. The estimated term is 10/1/22 through 9/30/23. The scope of service to remove and install 2,500 square foot of existing flooring in the main lobby and replace with a new resinous flooring system at the Albany County Correctional Facility. This is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions for the department.
Good afternoon, Tina Simmons. I'm representing the Albany County Correctional Facility. We have, we're going to remove and install 2,500 square feet of epoxy flooring in the main entrance. The floor hasn't been replaced in over 25 years, so it's gonna look much nicer when you walk through those doors. So we're hoping you can pass this.
I don't want to walk through the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say that myself. I don't care how good they look.
I know.
Well, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Your motion is carried.
Thank you.
And just give us a call when the floor is done.
Yeah, I'll show you a nice picture of it. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract 560-22, the Department's Human Resources. The vendor is MM Hayes Company Incorporated. The estimated amount is $59,961.50. The estimated term is 11/1/22 through 10/31/23. The scope of service will be the Kronos timekeeping system. It is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions for the department.
This is our annual renewal for our contract with MM Hayes for our Kronos timekeeping system. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, I think we all know what it is. Any other comments or questions for Jen? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? It's carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 575-22, Department of Sewage Treatment. The vendor is Holland Company Incorporated. The estimated amount is $30,000. The estimated term is 1/1/23 through 12/1 to 31/23. And the scope of service, purchase and delivery of sodium bisulfate. It's 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions from the department.
Thank you. Yes, this is for the purchase of sodium bisulfate. This is one of the two chemicals that we use for disinfecting our effluent water at the North Plant. We received 2 bids, and Holland was the lowest responsible bidder. The contract term, as stated, is for 1 year, and then we do have the option for 2 one-year renewals.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 580-22, Department of Sewage Treatment. The vendor is Slack Chemical Company. The estimated amount is $80,000. The estimated term is 1/1/23 through 12/31/23. The scope of service, the purchase and delivery of sodium hypochlorite. It's 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions from the department.
Thank you. So this is the second of the 2 chemicals that we use for disinfection. Again, the contract term is for 1 year. We received 3 bids, and Slack Chemical was the lowest responsible bidder. Again, this is set up for 2 one-year renewals after the contract term.
Have you used them in the past?
Slack, no, this would be a different company. Slack is a reputable supplier.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is contract 537-22, Department of Maintenance and Roads and Bridges. The vendor is Everall Iron Works, Inc. The estimated amount is $43,722.15. The estimated term is 11/1/22 through 12/31/22. Scope of service, the purchase of signposts and bases to be placed throughout the county as needed. Bond, and there's a long number after that, Resolution 565 of 12/5/2013 will be used for this purchase, is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions from the department head.
Mr. Clerk, in the absence of the department head, I can take that if you desire.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. So as stated, this is for the purchase of signposts and bases for county roads. This was the lowest responsive bidder. There were 2 bidders that were answered that responded with their bids. And as you stated, this will be paid for out of bonded proceeds.
Very good. Are there any other comments or questions? I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is contract 573-22. Department is Road Machinery Maintenance. The vendor is Viking Clives, Viking Sives. I'm close, I think. Estimated amount is $80,000. Estimated term is 5/17/22 until 10/29/23. And the scope of service, the purchase of Viking snowplow and sander parts from Viking Sives using Sourcewell contract, VCEM, for an amount not to exceed $80,000 using the department's operational budget. This is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Mr. Clerk, I can handle that one as well. So as you said, this is for purchase of Viking snowplow and sander parts. These are the big, the really big plow trucks, the big plows in the front of those, as well as the sanders on the back end for our plowing fleet. This goes along with the 5 new plow trucks that the county is currently in the process of purchasing.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain the motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract 531-22. Department is Health. The vendor is ChemServe Environmental Analysts. The estimated amount is $60,000. The estimated term is 7/1/22 to 6/30/25. Scope services, ChemServe will provide testing of toys purchased by the Albany County Department of Health for the following accessible elements: antimony, arsenic, cadmium, lead, coating material, lead, accessible substrate, and mercury. This is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Good afternoon, Shannon Witherspoon for the Health Department. This is a request to contract with ChemServe. They were the only response to our RFP. This will be the second time we are contracting with them for toxic toys. This is the local law. It is 100% county funded. It's a local law, so there is no state aid eligible for it. And we have had no issues with them in the past.
Where exactly do they test these toys?
We send the toys out to the lab. So we send up to 10 toys per quarter.
Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, I'm also curious somehow, now do we take it from like a shipment and send like a portion of a shipment to a tester and then they come back, or?
Yeah, so we have a public health sanitarian that goes into the various stores within the county. They purchase a toy, we ship the toy out to the lab takes it apart and tests various pieces. If it's a car, they test the tires, things like that, toys that can go into children's mouths. And then we get the results. If there's anything that needs to be taken off the shelf, then they let the store owner know. I think we've only had, the last time we had to take a toy off the shelf was in 2020.
Oh, okay.
And we did send 40 toys out last year. And so far we've sent 20 and we are waiting for the contract to send more that we have.
It was gonna be my next question, is how many of these have popped for one of these toxins, so, thank you.
And there's quite a few that you test for, so, I mean, that's really good.
Mhm.
I mean, that's thorough. And, you know, for us in Albany County, we were very appreciative of that, for sure. Any other? Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion, please. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Just need a second. Next contract is 512-22. Department is aging. Vendor is Metro Ford. The estimated amount is $92,193.60. The estimated term is 9/15/22 through 9/30/23. The scope of service in New York State Office of Aging awarded grant funding to address unmet needs of our older adults 60 years and older residing in Albany County. This funding needs to be utilized by 12/31/22 and will be used to purchase a van and fuel to create an office on wheels. This mobile office will be able to reach older adults throughout Albany County to expand aging programs and services. And this fiscal impact is 100% to the state. And I open the floor for comments and questions.
Thank you to the committee. It's Pat Dillon from Department for Aging. I just wanted to just kind of overview this. We did get the money from the state. This is unmet need money that kind of fulfills a vision of Commissioner Rotano to have an office on wheels. And basically we'll be utilizing this to do some outreach to the community, reach seniors and older adults that won't be able to come out or visit our offices because of the COVID conditions. We can't have older adults come into our office, as well as the fact that when we were down in 162 Washington, we couldn't have them there either, as far as like it was difficult to access the office. So this mobile office we think is going to be great to outreach our seniors, do some outreach about our services and our programs, as well as to reach seniors that on an individual basis that we need our senior to access our services.
I think I can speak for both of my board and fellow colleagues on the board here that it's tremendous that, first of all, that you were able to go out and get grant funding for a vehicle such as this to get out to our residents that can't make our facilities. And, a mobile office is certainly a great way to get to the people. And I personally, and I know I think I can speak for both Dan and Andrew, that we commend you for that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any further comments or questions?
What are you gonna name it?
The Higley Mobile.
Okay, put it in, because I want to have a contest to name it.
We're gonna
Maybe we're going to wrap it in
We're gonna
Dan's
We could raise some money too,
Yeah.
potentially.
That would be great.
Isn't that a great idea?
It is. Get some sponsors. Any other further comments or questions? I'd like to entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passed.
Thank you.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.
Next on the agenda is contract number 557-22. The Department of Aging. Vendor is the Legal Aid Society of Northeastern New York. The estimated amount is $59,900. The estimated term is 1/1/23 through 12/31/23. The scope of service, the contractor shall provide legal advice, advocacy, counseling, and representation to targeted Albany County older adults 60 years and older. In addition, services include community education outreach for older adults concerning legal issues. Now, this is broken down into two fiscal impacts. 10% will be the county and 90% will be the federal government. I now open the floor for comments and questions from the department.
So the Department for Aging this year put out an RFP for the services, and we received one proposal, which was from our Legal Aid Society of Northeastern New York. They've been our provider in the past for at least a decade. And so once the scoring committee reviewed the proposal, they realized that it met the requirements for the contract, so we awarded them the full contract. So Legal Aid Society of Northeastern New York will handle all of our legal issues for our older adults in Albany County.
Okay.
And they'll be doing this by either phone, on-site visits throughout 7 sites that we have established in the contract, as well as some educational sessions.
Any further comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Contract is carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is contract 566-22. Department is Aging. The vendor is Jewish Family Services. The estimated amount is $33,210. The estimated term is 1/1/23 through 12/31/23. The scope of service, the contractor shall provide kosher home-delivered meals to older adults 60 years and older in Albany County. And this is, again, as the fiscal impact is broken into 2 line items. The state will be 90.98%, and the federal government is 9.02%. And I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Just to introduce this, the Department for Aging, again, RFP'd our home delivered meal services, and with that, we received proposals from 4 providers, like Jewish Family Services being one of them, and they'll be providing the kosher meals throughout all of Albany County. And I just want to, the Commissioner would like to add to that.
I just wanted to add to that, not only, this was almost a gift from the pandemic, because it opened the opportunities for us to be able to reach out and do kosher meals, also halal meals. So we're also able to meet the needs of the Muslim community through Jewish Family Services. So it's a win-win. Nobody else in the state does it. We've been able to pull that off. It's working well. It was a bit of a project, but it's working well, and I'm very proud of that. Maybe we could put them in the van.
You should be proud. What I found interesting was the breakdown in the fiscal impact, 90.98% and 9.02%. I was like, as I was reading through it, I'm saying, oh, that's an interesting breakdown. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried, and keep up the great work. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to entertain a motion from my colleagues on the CAB board to bundle the following contracts. The first bundle will be 564-22 and 565-22. The second bundle will be 558-22 and 563-22. And the third bundle will consist of 559-22, 561-22, and 562-22. Before we go into voting on those bundling, I want to just make sure that my fellow colleagues on the board understand that these are all similar contracts and can be voted on together. And they each have a little difference in the fiscal impact, which I will note, but they are all similar for what the services are provided. So with that, I'll entertain the motion that we bundle all those contracts, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried to bundle. So we're gonna start with 56422 and 56522. I'll now open the floor for comments or questions. First of all, the fiscal impact for the first one is $49,950, and the second one is $34,375.
So basically, again, as you can see, the Department for Aging did a lot of RFPing this year for proposals. So we do this annually for our HDM as well as our Congrade, our home delivered meal and our Congrade meals. So we RFP'd our Congrade meals and we received proposals from 5 providers. We awarded all, the scoring committee reviewed them and awarded all of them. They all met the qualifications. And Green Island and Albany Jewish Community Center are the 2 that will be for CAB approval. The others went to the ledge for approvals. So we're asking to go under contract with JCC, which will be offering 3,125 meals for the year at their one site over at Whitehall. And then Senior Citizens of Green Island was awarded 4,500 meals, and they'll be serving that at 5 George Street, their one site over in Green Island.
Understand. Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion, please.
Motion? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Okay, so we're going to go on to the second portion of our bundling of contracts, which is 5858-22 and 563-22. The Department is Aging. The Colony Senior Service Centers are the 2 agencies. And the first one is $44,996, and the second will be $22,064. And I'll open the floor for comments and questions.
Okay, so just to explain this, this is for Colony Senior Service Centers, and these are both for senior, this is for social adult day services, which by definition is this. Provides functionally impaired older adults with components including socialization, supervision, monitoring, personal care, and nutrition, provided in a protective setting during the day that is at least 24 hours or less. So that's the service that they're providing in both of these contracts. The difference is that the first contract is our SADS, that is from a grant, our supportive services grant of 3B, and the other one is a caregiver grant under our 3E caregiver grant. So they're the same services that they're providing, just under 2 grants. And that's going to be over at the Beltran Center, which roughly they handle about 20 older adults in the program.
Okay, I think I should know for the record also that the first Colony Senior Services Center, the fiscal impact is 10% to the county and 90% to the federal government. And the second one for the Colony Senior Citizens Center is 25% to the county and 75% to the federal government.
And just to add to that, that is the 2 different grants, the split between county input and federal government.
Any further comments or questions for those 2? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Those are carried. Thank you. Okay. So the final 3 that we are going to be bundling is 559-22, 561-22, and 562-22. Again, the department is Aging. The vendors for this are the Town of Colony Senior Resources, LifePath, and Community Caregivers. Town of Colony is $48,700. LifePath is $33,860. Community Caregivers will be $24,680. The fiscal impact for the Town of Colony Senior Resources will be 25% county, 75% federal. The same thing for LifePath, and the same fiscal impact on the community caregivers. Open the floor for comments and questions.
Okay, so the Department for Aging issued an RFP for our 3 caregiver services. We received proposals from and awarded as follows. Now, we just went over Colony Senior Services Award, that we lumped them together with their 3B. So Colony Senior Service Center is one of our 3E care providers. And then we also awarded the Town of Colony, they do our caregiver counseling and public information. We awarded them that. LifePath does the social adult day program under the 3E caregiver program, as well as counseling to older adults and their caregivers. And then the last one is our community caregivers. We awarded them public information, as well as support groups, training support for the groups, respite services, and within that is our in-home contact and support services, supervision, shopping assistance, and light housekeeping.
Any other comments or questions? I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
Motion? Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as I've stated, please keep up the great work. These are great programs for our residents in Albany County. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so next on the agenda is 571-22. The vendor is St. Anne Institute. The estimated amount is $61,451. The estimated term is 1/1/23 through 12/31/23. The scope of service is agreement with a St. Anne's Institute, clinical sexual abuse fee for service for the provision of specialty prevention services. Now, at this one, this fiscal impact is broken down into three fiscal impacts. And the first is going to be the county at 33.5, the state will be 42.10, and the federal government will be 24.40. And I would like to open the floor for comments or questions from the department.
This is Nicole Ward from the Department for Children, Youth, and Families. This is a prevention contract with St. Anne's. It's a renewal. It's for clinical and assessment for children who have been victimized or have offended have sexual offenses. The overarching goal of this contract is to prevent children from going into foster care or from being into foster care too long.
Any other comments or questions? I'd like to entertain a motion, please.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Thank you, Nicole. Next on the agenda is contract 555-22. Department is real property. Vendor is Environmental Systems Research Institute. The estimated amount is $27,840. Estimated term 9/23/22 through 6/30/23. The scope of service is real property has an existing contract with ESRI 21-6551. Our current contract expires 12/31/22. We'd like to extend our contract to 6/30/23 without altering the current scope of services or contact amount. I think that's supposed to be contract amount, but at present it is unlikely that the existing scope of service will be fulfilled during the contract period. And the fiscal impact is 100% to the county. And now open the floor for comments or questions.
Michael McGuire, real property. We're currently working with Esri. There was some COVID-related delays in this contract. The contractor's end, we're looking to extend this contract for 6 months to make sure that we can finish the existing scope of services. This is related to our tax map conversion process. We're currently mapping in AutoCAD, and this project will allow us to map in GIS.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from Mike? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Contract is carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is 551-22. Department is law. The vendor is Gallagher Bassett's Services. The estimated amount is $40,000. The estimated term is 11/1/22 to 10/31/23. The scope of service to provide claim management services for liability claims is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions from the department head.
Good afternoon. This is our contract for our claim management services for our liability claims. We issued a request for quotes for this service and actually requested 2 quotes. We did this twice. The first round, we were not satisfied with the quotes that we received. Gallagher Bassett would be a new vendor for us, but an old vendor. They were our original claim management vendor for many, many years when we first became self-insured. We were overall very happy with their services. We just changed vendors about 8 years ago due to pricing. They were substantially lower than any other quotes that we received. The actual price quote is based upon an estimate of claims per type, based upon our insurance coverages. They look at our loss runs, and it's based upon what we're averaging now, but it's a total estimate. So they're estimating that the contract will run about $29,000. I put in an estimate for $40,000, just in case we run over, because claims seem to be running a little high right now. In addition, the contract is subject to auditing. All of Gallagher's contracts are subject to auditing, so they audit at the 18th, 24th, and 12 months thereafter, which means it's based upon the contract period, which would be November to October, and a date of loss. So if at the 18th month, if we receive a claim with a date of loss during this contract period, it would be audited, and we would pay an additional fee under this contract. They are very familiar with our services. It will be an easy transition back to have claim forms set up. They pay claim forms and use our claim forms, and they can, because they're part of the Gallagher companies, Gallagher's our broker, they'll be able to access our information easily. It will be a quick transition back. We were very happy with them previously, and I have no hesitancy in recommending that we go back to them.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is contract 585-22. Oops. So next item on the agenda is 582-22, Department of Consumer Affairs. The vendor is Pemberton Fabricators, Inc. The estimated amount is $68,183. The estimated term is 11/1/22 until 4/30/23. Scope of service of fabrication and delivery of testing trailer with Prover for Consumer Affairs. It's 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Yes, this is Commissioner Tina from the Department of General Services. The fabrication, this is for oil prover and a testing trailer, a larger one. Right now, the state has been doing our airport inspections for us. This will allow us to do our own inspections at the airport, bigger gas stations, and a lot more home fuel oil.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 585-22. The department is Unified Courts. The vendor is New York State Industries for the Disabled, Inc. The estimated amount is $64,625.60. The estimated term is 1/1/22 to 12/31/22. Scope of services is NICID will provide a day porter at the county courthouse building as requested by the Office of Court Administration to ensure that all areas utilized during the daily operations of the courthouse are clean and sanitized throughout the day. This is 100% state funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Yes, this was a special request from OCA at the beginning of COVID. When they came back, they wanted a daily porter in there for sanitation. You can see that the contract is from 1/1/22, ends 12/3/22. We were waiting for the pricing for NICID, so we finally got the pricing. That's why this contract is in. The next contract is for the following year for the pricing for the day porter.
So how did we pay them without the approval?
We haven't paid them.
We haven't paid them.
No, we haven't paid them. Once we get the approval, then we'll be sending them. They'll be billing us, and we'll send the payments to them.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions, opposed, motion is carried. Next on the agenda is contract 522-22, and Department of Building Services. The vendor is perfect. What do I do now? 586. It's the new contract issue.
Unless we're doing them both together.
No. Oh, it is. My fault. So the contract is 586-22. Department is Unified Court. Vendor is the New York State Industry for the Disabled. The estimated amount is $73,000. Estimated term is 1/1/23 to 12/31/23. Scope of service, NYSEG will provide a day porter at the county courthouse as requested by the Office of Court Administration to ensure that all areas utilized during the daily operation of the courthouse are cleaned and sanitized throughout the day. And once again, it's 100% state funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Yes, will be the continuation of the new contract for 1/1/23 to 12/31/23 for the same as a daily porter for the cleaning OCA request. It's 100% for the state.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 522-22. Department is Building Services. Vendor is Perfection Roofing. Estimated amount is $30,520. The estimated term is 10/1/22 to 9/30/23. The scope of service to replace existing corrugated roofing system of the Walden Lodge. With the new corrugated roofing system, it's 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Yes, we got 3 quotes for this project for down at the Losses Lake at the Walden Lodge. Their old corrugated steel roofing is starting to develop some holes in it. We noticed that when they did it, it wasn't put on correctly when they first put the roof on. So there might be some roof decking that may be rotted there. And Perfection was the lowest quote that we got for the job.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion, please.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. And the last item on our agenda today is contract 523-22. And Department's Building Services. The vendor is Emergency Power Systems LLC. Estimated amount is $40,150. Estimated term is 10/1/22 through 9/30/23. Scope of service is labor and materials to place the radiator cores of the emergency generator for the judicial center. And this is broken down into 2 fiscal impacts. The county will pick up 47 and the state will pick up 53% of this.
Yes, during the regular scheduled maintenance, it was noticed that the radiator cores were starting to leak. This was put out for bid. They were the only, emergency power systems were the only bidder on this project at the $40,150.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
And once again, Dave, thank you for being the last man standing. How you feel? You sleeping? You sleeping yet? Now I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn the Contract Administration Board meeting at 4:42 p.m.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. And I'd like to add that I'd like to wish everybody a happy Veterans Day, and if we have any veterans in the room today, thank you for your service to our country, because we don't have another CAB meeting until after Veterans Day. So to our veterans, thank you for your service.